Kevin Stefanski's malpractice around Shedeur Sanders already being questioned amid Browns QB mess since July, and the Cleveland Browns already have a quarterback controversy. It's not about who's playing well, it's about who's even supposed to be starting. Between rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, veteran Kenny Pickett, and the senior-most QB Joe Flacco, this is no traditional competition. There's no long-term clarity, no short-term consensus, just noise. And a head coach, Kevin Stefanski, juggling job security with the pressure to finally get it right under center. It's July, and the Cleveland Browns already have a quarterback controversy. It's not about who's playing well, it's about who's even supposed to be starting. Between rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, veteran Kenny Pickett, and the senior-most QB Joe Flacco, this is no traditional competition. There's no long-term clarity, no short-term consensus, just noise. And a head coach, Kevin Stefanski, juggling job security with the pressure to finally get it right under center. Tony Rizzo didn't hold back on ESPN Cleveland's The Really Big Show to get one of those rookies ready for week one. That's malpractice, he said, reacting to whispers that Shedeur Sanders could be the Browns' opening day starter. Let the veteran guys start the first couple. His reasoning? The first four opponents, Bengals, Ravens, Packers, and Lions, are no cakewalk. Rizzo's seen this movie before. Cleveland throws a rookie in too soon, the season spirals, and the reset button gets hammered again. But here's where things get a little more complicated. Stfansky and GM Andrew Berry didn't draft Shoot the Roost Sanders just to sit and learn forever. Shedeur comes in with NFL lineage, mental toughness, and a clean throwing profile. He racked up 3,230 yards, 27 touchdowns, and only 3 picks at Colorado last year behind a bad offensive line. He was sacked 52 times and still kept that offense functioning. That counts for something. Still, Rizzo's concerns aren't just old-school stubbornness. The Browns' schedule starts fast in a division where 10-7 might not even get you in. You can't afford a rookie's learning curve to stretch into October. Start 1-3, and the noise around Stfansky intensifies. Start 3-1, and suddenly there's a push to ride that momentum. That's why Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett might be the right early season insurance. It's not about limiting Shedeur, it's about protecting his arc. Let the system support him before he becomes the system. But there's another side. If Shedeur is the best quarterback in camp, if he's stacking days and flashing command in practice, how do you justify keeping him on the sideline? Development doesn't always require a clipboard. Some QBs, C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert, only took off once they were thrown into live action. And unlike most rookies, Shedeur doesn't lack confidence or maturity. This isn't just about who starts. It's about what this QB room says about the Browns. There's no succession plan. No commitment to development. Can Shedeur Sanders become the starter? Kevin Stefanski has been crystal clear about the offseason's purpose. Let's not look too much into who's out there and when. We're in the installation phase. We're in the teaching phase. He said during the minicamp, he purposely withheld first-team reps from rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, keeping the focus on system installation rather than anointing starters. It's not chaos, but more of desperation about naming their leader. Throughout OTAs and minicamps, Stefanski's plan was simple. First-team reps went to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, while the rookies remained with the backups. That's not slamming Shedeur. It's a methodical choice to preserve game-ready veterans for early reps, while letting the rookies absorb and develop. Despite keeping him off the once unit, Stfansky has been quick to compliment Shedeur's work ethic and accuracy. I like everything about Shedeur, he said earlier in offseason drills. He keeps getting better every day, demonstrating an approach rooted in gradual development, not hype. The coach has signaled that things will get serious in late July. This may look like a muddle. But Stefanski's method is neither accidental nor careless. It's strategic. He's preserving veteran value, easing rookies in, and setting the stage for a camp battle that begins when the pads go on. And for a team that went 3-14 last year, that kind of setup could make all the difference. In Cleveland, football is more than a sport. It's an identity, a ritual, and for many, a heartbreak, annually renewed. So, when the Browns found themselves once again tangled in a quarterback mess, the spotlight inevitably swung toward head coach Kevin Stefanski. But this time, something was different. The whispers weren't just about who should be under center. They were about who could have been and why he wasn't. Times when two good players come together, they see they can beat anything. And why he wasn't. That someone is Shedeur Sanders, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Prime Sanders and the electric, controversial signal caller from Colorado. Shedeur entered the NFL draft with both swagger and stats. He had poise, a deep ball that glided like a drone, and, most notably, the kind of leadership Cleveland has lacked since, well, forever. For a city that's endured Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, and now the $230 million 0-cents Deshaun Watson experiment teetering toward calamity, Shedeur Sanders seemed like a shot at redemption. But Stfansky passed, and people are beginning to ask why. It's not malpractice in the literal sense, of course. No one's losing their medical license over draft decisions. But the term has begun to haunt Stfansky in the metaphorical sense. An accusation of gross misjudgment, of mishandling an opportunity so glaringly obvious in hindsight that it feels like professional negligence. The Browns' quarterback room in 2025 is less a depth chart and more a graveyard. Deshaun Watson's shoulder remains as much of a question mark as his decision-making. Veteran backups shuffle in and out like guests at a wake. Cleveland fans, desperate for a symbol of hope, have started lighting candles on message boards under Shedeur's name. It's not that Stfansky ignored Sanders completely. Reports say the Browns conducted preliminary interviews, even sent scouts to Boulder. But when draft day arrived and Sanders was still on the board, slipping to the mid-first, then late first, the Browns chose a lineman. A good one, sure, but a lineman. They opted for safe in a city tired of safe. They chose to patch the wall instead of unlocking the front door. Shedeur, meanwhile, went to a rival AFC team and did what he was always going to do. Shine. He reads defenses like a graduate thesis. His internal clock ticks with symphonic rhythm. His press conferences, inherited bravado and all, give fans something Cleveland has been deprived of for years. A star. What does Cleveland have? Stfansky at the podium, citing system consistency, locker room culture, and the usual coaching mantras that sound hollow when your offense is ranked 29th and your quarterbacks are a weekly roulette spin. But beneath the tactical jargon lies something more human: fear. Fear of risking it all on a quarterback whose fame precedes his resume. Fear of inviting chaos, media scrutiny, and ego into a fragile ecosystem. Fear of not risking chaos, media scrutiny, and ego into a fragile ecosystem. Stfansky, a system-first guy, likely viewed Sanders as a risk to culture. He saw the headlines before the huddles. He saw Deion's shadow stretching into Berea and decided he didn't want to coach inside it. Only now, that shadow has turned into a storm cloud hovering directly over him. This isn't just about a draft miss. It's about a pattern. Stfansky has earned praise for steadying Cleveland post-2019, but he's also shown a frustrating rigidity. His offense is a machine, elegant when humming, but utterly lifeless without the right spark book. He's married to his playbook in ways that alienate dynamic quarterbacks. He doesn't adjust to talent. He asks talent to adjust to him. Sanders, had he come to Cleveland, would have needed room to play jazz, to improvise, scramble, extend plays, sometimes go off script. That's not Stefanski's way. He wants Mahler. Sanders plays Miles Davis. So instead, the Browns are stuck in purgatory, again. And fans have noticed. Social media is ablaze with clip montages. Shedeur launching 50-yard touchdowns while Cleveland quarterbacks overthrow 5-yard curls. Sports talk radio hosts have made Stefanski's name synonymous with conservative and short-sighted. And while team ownership remains publicly patient, the murmurs are growing louder.